This is Karikter asked it. You already know Karikter did it. I'm here with C Real, bro. Tell us about yourself. What do you do?
What's happening, man? It's C Real. I'm 30 years old. I just turned 30 in April. I'm a music producer. A little bit, I do acting. I make my skits. I'm in the comedy world. I did stand up before. I'm basically into a lot of it, but my most known would be like I love making music and I love making people laugh.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah. So where are you out of?
I'm in Nova Scotia. If you've never heard of Pat Stay, he actually just died I think it was a month ago, I don't know, I can't keep up. But he was a battle rapper from Nova Scotia, First one to actually, he didn't know how big he really was. And so our city's pretty much getting out there. And, I'm just trying to claim my territory as my own lane, tell about my city and that my city is pretty good city.
And okay, so let's talk about Nova Scotia. From an ignorant American, Nova Scotia sounds like Antarctica to me.
Everybody says that. Most of the Americans oh my God, is it cold? Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, it's damn cold. Come down there, you'll be like, woo, in the winter. But the summer, lately, it's been very hot. Today was almost 30 degrees.
Damn,
you probably got this on, I ain't popping no Molly and I'm just sweating. Because it's really hot.
So you said 30 degrees Celsius, right?
Yes.
So what is that in Fahrenheit?
Fahrenheit, Jesus, man. Someone just said that today. So say if it was say if it was how hot is it over there right now?
Bro, I'm sweating right now. I'm in my garage. It's probably right now it's 95 degrees.
So that would be 50 degrees for us.
Okay. All right. So yeah. All right, man. What does that do to your environment?
So for the heat?
Yeah.
It's really hard to breathe. We had a heat warning today.
Yesterday. Used to it.
Oh, definitely. The sun is getting really closer every year. You watch the Discovery Channel, we're yeah, the sun is getting closer. It's gonna come here. Every time. And it's for real. So we experience more Florida weather now. Because we get little dry weather, very hot, very windy. Sometimes it's rainy. We just had a flood. The first time ever. Man, I never ever thought I experienced stuff in my lifetime other than COVID was crazy. But now it's ever since COVID dies, we just having floods, what is gonna say? Wildfires.
Floods and wildfires. Have you ever experienced that in your life?
Hell no. Never seen it in my life. I've never seen someone try to swim, and we seen a beaver swimming in our little highway.
That's funny, but that's funny.
Beaver people were canoeing and trying to get out. There was still, to this day, somebody still missing from the flooding. 4 people, I think they said were missing. Because nobody knows what to do. If your car
caused the flooding.
A lot of rain. We had a lot of rain at once. 50 millimeters to 120 millimeters of rain, I think it was. Probably 50 at the most, but it was that impact.
What was the normal amount for a thunderstorm before that?
We don't get no rain.
No rain.
We get rain, but it's it ain't no woo. It kept raining every minute, pouring. I remember that day it happened, I'm okay, my window wipers broke. That's how bad the rain was. Because I was bling, 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 bling. So they stopped flexing, for real. And I'm okay, so I had to stop every minute to see if I can get to my next destination. That didn't happen. I had to wait because the rain just said, fuck you, I'm coming all down. And so I waited a couple more. I said, all right, cool, came back. So I ended up getting to my destination. So I went to Canadian Tire. I don't know if you guys have that, but it's a shop where you can get accessories for car parts.
I'm sure we have something similar, yeah.
Yeah, so I got the window wipers. I didn't know I'm not really, I know about cars, but it's a new car I had. I'm how the fuck you put this on? Easy guy put it on, cool. Went to start my car, wouldn't start. So I'm thinking, okay, it's gotta be the rain. So they went through all bullshit. I called my cousin last, that's a mechanic. So he said, just hit the starter. So I hit the starter and that car starts. Basically what happens is all that rain, the starter got wet. So I can't start the car, but I can remotely start the car.
Damn.
Oh man, it was like, I was freaking out. I was like,
Cars
come on.
didn't know how to handle it, bro. What?
It was like, what the fuck is this shit? You imagine your car talking to me like, bro, we ain't gone for this shit in my life. What the hell is this?
You ain't trained us for this, bro. Like, what's going on, man? Like,
No, man. The cars are like humans. They experience shit and then they just stop working. They just like, it's like a transformer. Choo! I don't know. And I'm not working. I don't know what this is. We didn't sign up for this shit.
I quit. This is against the job description. I ain't signed.
Yeah, they be done like. But man, out of all, I was prayed, and I was like, oh my God, thank goodness. Now let me get the fuck home. As I was getting home, now my tire tries to come on with the signal and says, oh, low on air. I said, fuck that, too much rain. I'm going home. I'll do it later on tonight. It was like too much problems after that. Censored that. I was like, no, can't fuck with this. So then when I get home, I called Dad and told him about it. He's like, yo, let the car sit there for a couple minutes. And I did. And then I went in the house. The next day I went to hit the starter. It just started. So it really was full of rain. I've never experienced that.
I'm confused. Well, it's funny though. Actually, my dad sells cars in Maryland. I live in the South now, so I've had experience with cars coming from Maryland to the South, and they rust quicker. Or they already have rust. Cars don't adapt once they've gone a certain period of time in one environment. They don't adapt well, and that's super interesting. That it's dealt with snow, it's dealt with a rough environment for so long, but then it rained. And everything, it's like the patina did not fit rain, like.
So see, it's like a baby mother with the baby father. That shit, they don't adapt, right? They just, like that's the same thing how the car is like, get mad. It's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? You didn't sign me up. You know what I mean? There's nothing you can do. Like, cars is just really like, I watched the new Transformers movie and I felt like I was in a new Transformers movie because there was a part where the rain was coming down just like that. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy. Like,
That's funny, bro, man. So, hold up. What'd you do after high school?
Went to college.
For what?
Graphic design. So, basic graphic design was not in my sense to do, but in particular because at the time I felt like a good idea. But when I learned it, I was like, I wasn't going through the class. They were teaching us how to make websites, so I know all that information. So then I was like, I'm dropping out because it's like I can learn this online. You know what I mean? So it was a big waste of time, but it was always my dream to do that. But after a while, the way I got better at graphic design, I can graphic design on a phone. It's pretty easy. It's not hard. Everything practice. Like I tell anybody, everything you do in life, it's like you throw a rock. And you throw that rock again. You throw that rock again. Your arm is just gonna brain's gonna connect. All right, we gotta do it this way. Like you had to go for trials and tribulations to grow. And people don't understand that sometimes.
Preach that, bro. Preach that.
Right.
What'd you do after you dropped out?
I went to get a job. Working security was the right thing to do. Basically, people doing shit at the airport. Man,
Tell us some stories from the airport working security.
When I say that these people just be doing anything, coming in with literally drugs. I never worked in that position, but I had other people working in the position, and they were telling me stories. They're like, and then one time they showed me, it's like, oh, look at this. So this guy had something stuck up his ass. What it was is drug. Like a little big pill, as big as my hand. Long as hell, put it up there. So you know what they had to do? Oh, we got to do a cavity search. I'm telling you, them cavity search wasn't fun because that man, all you heard, holy man, Gee. But actually, before the security, I did work at the hospital too.
What'd you do?
I was pretty much dealing with cleaning.
Oh no, bro.
Man, that's pretty much my regular job I got right now, which is come back to the school board. That comes on later on. Basically, you know, cleaning is cool, but you deal with veterans that Alzheimer's. This man talked about he is still trying to find his brother from World War III or II or one. He tells me every day. He's like, yeah. And he's walking around with the broom like he's actually something. And the nurse is like, yeah, he's okay. He just got Alzheimer's. No, he's out to lunch. You guys need to understand. He starts flying this shit around. He's like, I come in the room one day. Get out of here. This is war. I'm like, buddy, this is. Hey, you in the hospital. Calm down. None of that. So, and then I was like, okay, move me over to somewhere else. They never had me in the normal spot because they always thought, oh yeah, well he probably can't handle the thing. It's crazy. You know. So they had me over where the crazy people are. Abby Lane, we called it. Nutso people. Buddy banging on the wall, say, let me out, let me. All you see is blood on the thing. Like when I say people are crazy. And there was one guy I talked to. He said, "Yeah, man, I'm ready to kill someone. Are you down with?" What? Am I down with you? No, man, I'm here to clean your room, and that's it. And there was one. They actually locked me in, and I had to hit the thing because I didn't know what the fuck he was gonna do. So they came rushing in, and I was like, "Yeah."
Hold on. No, start from the beginning of that story.
So yeah, they give us a button. Security, you know, if you're in panic and you feel you're in danger, hit that button. So I didn't really hit it. I just went. And that's all you hear the whole time. And I'm like, they come running like a stampede. They're like, oh, what's going on? And they grab it. And I was like, man, I didn't even mean to do it. I just don't feel comfortable. Get me the fuck out of here. I'm not playing with these people. These people are not.
Yeah.
When they say people say, oh, they're not crazy. Look, I can be tapped in my mind, but these people are psychotically tapped. So that means they physically will say, if you say something wrong to them, they'll say it as a different way. You say something nice to them, they'll think you're being an asshole. You can say certain words that are fucking making them blow. And they're like, okay, well, this is what's gonna happen if you don't get the hell out. So I'm like, yeah, let me get out.
Bro.
Craziness. I'll tell you, life is amazing. You try all kinds of jobs, but do not try that one. If you're gonna do
Solid advice from Serial, bro.
oh man, do not do it. I thought I was crazy until I met some people that were lunatic crazy.
Hey, it gave you perspective, man. Like, you know.
As I say in life, like Kevin Hart said, is the best. You gotta try stuff. You try stuff. That's how you find out who you are. When you try stuff.
All right. So, how did you get started on the comedy and different social media hustles you're on right now? And tell me about the different social media hustles you're on.
So I got an Instagram for all of my beats and my music, so I label that with my beats. So the comedy stuff, it was always up and down. It was American, and I connected with a lot of Americans, and I got bigger. You know what I mean? And I know a lot of people. One I don't like dropping names, but everybody knows him. His name is Blaze. Me and Blaze was pretty much met before when I was in a record label called Day One.
Blaze.
Now, Blaze Hunter.
Bro.
Yeah.
He's my partner.
Oh, it's a small world, I'm telling you.
Like a partner in a business we're in together, bro. Like Blaze Hunter is good people's, man.
Oh yeah, man, he's really good. Like it's crazy.
You're talking about Blaze Hunter. Okay,
oh man, it's like shout out to him because he's really doing his thing. He's
shout out to Blaze Hunter, bro.
For real, man. Like so, basically, he wasn't really in it. He was just partner. I was in it, and that's how we met. Like we never physically met. But we virtually met there, and we've been close ever since. I was diving back and forth, and I came back into the music scene. And then he's like, "Oh fuck, bro! Like you doing comedy too?" But I said the comedy was a big atmosphere because I'm not saying everybody does it, but there's a certain way how I act, the way that I talk. Everybody's like, "Whoa, that's funny," and I'm not even trying to be funny half the time. That's just me.
You've been cracking me up this whole interview just by speaking the stories that you've lived, yo. Like, right, and I'll tell you what's crazy. Like, this interview will run on Blaze Hunter's network, on Signature Series Network. My interviews run every day at 2 p.m. EST and then sporadically through the day on his network, bro.
I was gonna say too much, but I do my research.
Okay.
Yeah, I was doing research.
Okay. And like I said, I don't, and I pride myself on that because this is just me getting to know you. This is why I don't. Because it's organic moments, you know.
Because I want it to be beneficial for you and beneficial for me. Like I don't really just like take things. I see people just jump on to help people. There was one podcast I was on. I think it was called this freaking podcast, and now the guy is like interviewing DJ Paul, and I was on it before he like blew up.
No shit, bro. Man, I hope you say the same thing about me one day. You will say the same. I don't hope shit. You will say the same thing about me one day. I'm speaking into existence.
I'm gonna keep it real, and I'm speaking into existence. What's gonna happen for you is like you pretty much won't know. But if we talk about certain shit that you have like 50 Cent or Boosie Badass or something on your podcast, you speak that would definitely happen. Because when he spoke it, that happened like, I think it was 2 or 3 years after, but it was quick.
You know, like I'll speak right now. You know who I want to interview? It's not a musician. It's not an artist. Gary V. Do you know who that is?
Never heard of him. But
Gary V he's like a life coach. He's an influencer with 10 million followers. He is a businessman.
I think who I know you're talking about because I do follow a lot of influencers. I don't correctly think him, but I know he's connected to the rest of the influencers.
Like, I've always admired him, and then I saw this video where Busta Rhymes invited him on stage with him because he wanted to meet him in person for the first time. Because Gary Vee is just connected to so many people, and he's given such valuable advice to not just influential people, but the whole world. That he's just out there trying to help people. That's my goal. That's who I want to be. So I'll speak it into existence right now. Gary Vee, I'm gonna interview you one day, bro.
All right, man. That's a goal. That's definitely a goal. But yeah, back to the comedy. Like for that, before that, I started in music. Music like was in school. I made my first song off a recording device. It was just me and this Muslim guy. His name was Shirai Muhammad. We called the first song Rolling Spinners. Now we ain't had no car, but we had everybody in the whole school listening to it. Like Rolling Spinners, like it was just
for sure. And I remember the days when spinners were cool, bro. Like
yeah, and it's like, we had the atmosphere before that came cool. Like everybody was like, "How did you come up with that?" And I'm like, it came to our mind." And we only freestyle. We were writing raps in school all the time. That's how it starts. Like, I'm not a freestyle, but I can freestyle in certain moments, like when I had to feel it.
Okay.
So, like, basically, when we was writing that, we was writing with them big loose leaves. All the lyrics down, and we record off the thing. So when we got more serious, I learned how to make beats because I was like, I don't want to take these people's beats. Like, I was always smart. I was always like a genius at a young age. I was like, so now I know what's going to happen. It's like, if I get big with this, then I'm going to get sued. I already knew that. I was ahead of people. So I made my first beat. The first time I ever made a beat was in Mixcraft. That was the first.
Bro, that's a throwback right there. People don't know about Mixcraft.
No, man. Like, Mixcraft was older than the kids that are coming up today. Like, for real. And it still works as a software. Like,
does it really? It still works?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just like Mixcraft 8 or something. Like, I don't know. I go off more new stuff now because I like to switch up. After when something else comes up, I like to switch up.
How old were you when you started the music?
14.
14. What made you start music at 14 at that age? I mean, and people saying that now, they're like, oh, okay, cool. Because every 14-year-old start music because everybody has band lab and this and that. This was a different world that we're talking about. So what made you start doing music at 14 years old and I don't want to do the math, somewhere around 2010, 9-ish?
I seen a lot of people rap, and I'm like, I could do better than this. I know I could rap all these people. And at the time, I was really hot. Like, you know what I mean? I had a lot of people. Back in the day, I used to get record deals hit me up all the time. And I wasn't even trying to rap. Like, I remember there was one song I made. Frank, what was it called? Pay Your Bills or something like that. To this day, it's on my YouTube. And I made the beat for it.
Hell
and then I look back at it because one of my cousins showed me a couple weeks ago. He said, man, I remember you used to rap like this. And I heard the song and I was like, I looked at the views. That's at like 200 views. And I didn't even promote it once. Which is still crazy to me because that means 200 people have seen what I did. And that people don't understand. The industry watches you all the time. That's why I always gotta be on point what I say and what I do. You know what I mean? I'm a perfectionist. Like, I gotta make sure everything's, platform, everything is right. Because if you say something wrong or you do something wrong, that follows you. So a lot of youth be getting on social media just recklessly saying anything, and it's like, you guys do know everybody knows everybody. It doesn't matter where they're at. You could be down UK, and I'd be like, yo, I don't see real, because everybody that does music connects with it somehow.
The internet is a small world, bro.
It's a small world. That's what
treat it right. If you stay on the right people's content, you stay messaging, you stay commenting, liking, you can get connected with whoever you want to.
Well, my problem was I wasn't really always humble, and I started becoming humble. That's why I got a lot more respect for a lot of people, because they're like, he's not trying to toot his horn and say I'm better than anybody, but when I do what I do, I don't care really what people think, because it's like, to the point, this is what I'm doing. And this is what get better.
I've heard it explained as, it's not bragging, it's not being cocky, it's self-affirmation.
Yeah, because you're good at it, and it took a lot of effort to get there. See, a lot of people don't understand stuff. It doesn't just happen overnight. Like, you can't just go up the next day and say you're a rapper, but you can work at it and be one.
And you're reminding yourself of how much you've grown since you started.
Man, I remember before I couldn't rap on a single beat. I still have a little problem because there's newer beats I try to rap on it. But when I get to old school, where I make my beats, I flow to it. But my problem is I get so comfortable. And I'm like, oh yeah, some people say this. But I learned how to take criticism. So I'll ask someone this, out of 10 out of 10, what do you think about this song? And someone will say, out of 5, 6. And then some people will go, oh, this tries off the flow. And I'm like, yes, I already know that. So I just block all that energy out with a negative, and I'm like, okay, cool. Here's your opinion. I appreciate that. But out of the ones that say that they like it, all that, then I know I can put it out. I never did that before, and I told people the criticism is hard, but it's only very easy if you block out and say, my opinion don't matter, argue that your opinion is better than everybody else. Because at the end of the day, people put out shit all the time. What they getting, like millions to 100 millions to billions, and who's telling them anything?
Facts, man. Facts, bro. When did you start the comedy hustle?
It could be a couple years after that. I can't remember that one. State on Forward, Basic Street. If I'm being straightforward. So I had what's his name? Bobby Comedian or something like the Bobby the Comedian. He was his name. Anyway, so what he told me, because I always was funny, like I was always natural, like it just comes out like that. He's like, man, we'll get up there and do stand-up. The first time I ever did stand-up, they didn't even they laughed, but they didn't give that expectation laugh.
It's harder than people think it is.
I've done it, you know what I mean? It's like you're sitting up there cracking the joke, but now it's easier because I've already did it. So, but the first time it's like, what the hell? I was like, I didn't, when you didn't get the reaction, you were just like, wow, I'm actually doing this. And then after you'll look at your video and be like, okay, that's what I did wrong. That's what I did wrong. That. My biggest one was not interacting with the audience. Like, you want to make them feel important. The same thing with music. If you're not interacting with the audience, getting them, like, what are you doing? You're basically rapping for yourself, or you're basically making jokes for yourself. But if you don't interact with the audience, like I'm looking at you right now, then I'm like, well, what are you doing?
Exactly,
And
bro.
I've always pretty much been one of the ones to get out there, because in school, how you had to do show and tell, or you had to present yourself. I always was like, yo, I'll do it. And I was always the class clown.
I feel you, bro. I feel you on that. And that's just what you know. That's what makes you know you were destined to do what you're doing.
Right.
Tell me about your biggest accomplishments in music, in comedy, in life. Tell me your accomplishments, bro.
Biggest accomplishment was fair of like making people laugh in front of like the biggest crowd I ever had was 300 to 400 people. Like, and it was just mind blowing. They were like, because I stopped and through halfway, and there was this big comedian I made that's from Toronto called J.O. He actually does stuff with comedian Tricks. Have you ever heard of him? Yeah, so I met him, and a lot of people were like, I seen how. We're not still more in contact. I'm in contact with this other one. I can't remember his name, but he told me, he's like you're just funny. You just don't know it. Like, you just do stuff and you go on, and it's like you tell a story and it just comes up crazy. But it's like he said the most thing he found on what I did, and which I kind of accomplished, is sometimes I'll break down, say too much, and it's like nobody don't want to hear it because it's too much of a story. So you break that down, right? And for music, for the biggest accomplishment was like learning actually to make a crazy rap song and learning how like the rap songs actually sound new. The biggest one too is like, man, when you actually listen to the beats and you hear it all when you were a kid, you never was a rapper, and you heard how this to make that instrumental actually like and actually feel how that sounds, the beat going boom boom, is crazy, because people will mind blow wanting to do stuff like that, because the stuff I do is incredible, and everybody's like, you actually made that. I had a friend today, he heard one of my beats, he said, oh my god, you got a lot better, because I have people in my corner that will tell me keep going. I had people actually in my corner that was like, you're not a rapper, this and that, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I never ever listened to that. I took it as, okay, I bounced in it, but I was like, man, at the end of the day, opinions is cool, but this is my life. Nobody told Jamie Foxx he couldn't be a comedian, he couldn't be an actor, he couldn't be a singer.
Do you know that though, bro? Do you know? I bet if you asked Jamie Foxx, he would tell you a list of people that said he couldn't do what he's doing right now.
Right,
and that's what I'm saying is like, you take those people, they're inspiration, man.
Inspiration, and then definitely motivation. So a lot of people can sometimes like gotta brush that off, like lean with it, rock with it, get it off your shoulders. Don't ever. If I can give anybody positive advice, I came from not a family of cheerleaders. In my world, not a lot of cheerleaders, so I always had to make my opinion was greater than everybody else. Because nobody actually loved me. Nobody ever gave me that support. But then when I really started doing it, oh man, I got phenomenal support now. Like, it just comes out of nowhere.
And that's what goes back to the self-affirmation. When you're talking highly about yourself, when you're saying something about yourself, that you're so great at something in your music. I was a person for a long time, I didn't understand that. It was like, well, just say something, but it's self-affirmation because you grew up in an environment that didn't give you the affirmation for what you were looking for, and you didn't get it from a lot of friends. So now that you have it, no one else is saying it, so you got to say it.
Right. Because at some point it's like these people are not like, I watch a lot of interviews and I watch a lot of motivational inspiration things. Biggest one, Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey says a lot of stuff.
No doubt.
He said people like, you gotta get dirt on you. So when people hate on you, that's just dirt. You gotta get a lot of dirt on you for order to you to grow. Like a plant. What I would say, but he never said the plant. Exactly. If you don't get dirt on you, like if you got someone hating you, that's dirt. You need more dirt on you. The more dirt on you, it's almost like you actually doing something and they just throw all dirt on you.
Fact.
If you don't have that information, people don't understand. Not everybody's a hater. they come off as a hater because they don't understand. They don't get why he's doing this and that. How does he get to do this? How can I not get to do this? That's what people think all the time when they see something. I know because I used to be that person.
Yep.
Every time I say, like, what the hell? And it's not, people are not even generally trying to be a hater. They just come off that way. But then you'll get somebody that's like, yeah, I don't like that, man. He ain't nothing. I don't care about him. Like, he will just come out like that, and I'm like, okay. You gotta block it out, because the more you block it out, I promise anybody that watching this, you will grow.
Exactly, man. Pause for 1 second. Yo, my camera's fucking up. I don't know what the fuck is happening right now, bro. Alright, go ahead.
One thing about it, you can still see you, because if it had been me, it would have been all shades of black. Oh, shoot. But, yeah, no, I try to tell people straight up, like, keep going, because I remember I went from every time people watching me was like, I didn't even get a like. I got like 8 views. 1 like. Then it turned to 25 views. 2 likes. Now it's like 300 views, 25 likes to 30. At the most 40. And people will look at my page and be like, well, why is that? Like, why is it like that? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna keep it real. People will be like, well, how did you get all them followers? You invest into followers. And people like, well, did you buy them? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, how does that work? Because y'all didn't understand how the algorithm works. If you buy followers, sometimes you'll look at it and it looks good. Them bots make it more likely to get you to get the followers. And people keep on like, oh, well, it didn't. I tried that, didn't work. Because you went instantly too crazy with it. You kept buying, and now Instagram looks at your page and like, this is fake.
You have 300,000 followers and you get 25 views.
Yeah, Instagram's like, well, that's fake. You have to make it look. See, I'm a marketing genius with this. You have to make it look like presentable. That the way mine looks, like I could get more, but I'm like, no. Now I'm at a perfect limit. So then when all the other celebrities see you, they're like, whoa, freak, he's got followers. So no person know you, but I know you first probably seen it. You probably like, damn, like he got a lot of followers, but you already knew.
People are sheep, bro. People are sheep.
Right, you know what I mean? But people just, I can't explain it to you if you don't get it. And people like, well, why did you get followers? I'm like, I'm not gonna lie about it. This is what I did, and all the celebrities do it. If you go look at Nicki Minaj's page right now and see it and buffering and refreshing every minute, that's the followers that she bought.
You're the first person who said it in an interview.
Oh, someone had to say it.
I have interviewed so many people, bro, asking them, when did the pop happen? When did you get to all your followers? And they danced around the answer, bro. Like, just...
Oh, they don't keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Well, you know what I mean? Like, my name is C Real. I have to keep that 100. I gotta live to my name. Rather nobody don't like it or not, they're gonna be like, well, he was honest. And just from me being honest, someone's gonna follow me.
Much respect, bro. Much respect. Hey, yo, like, these words, buying followers, they're like curse words on Instagram.
Yeah, and they're
like, somebody, and I mean, if they're not talking to, I'm not trying to be racist, but generally the people that you can find these connections with are from the country of India, and you know, like, you know, they're not talking to someone like that. They, you know, if I hit up someone I know, hey, bro, I can hook you up with this. You're like, they're like, no, bro, you know, I'm trying to organic growth. I'm gonna, just, you know, like, that's not the game. You're playing the wrong game. You're playing the game against yourself.
It won't work. No. And that's why a lot of them have not gone nowhere. It won't work. I learned this from another guy. We was in past. I don't like saying names, you know what I mean? But we're not cool. Like, we're cool. I can support him. I just don't go, you know. But he taught me a lot of shit. He was real. And I'm gonna still say he's real. I just don't fuck with him. He don't fuck with me. Simple.
It's over. It's over.
But I'll still support him. I say shit, you know, boom. But I don't go around him like that. And I had
Tell me about the biggest obstacles that you faced.
cutting friends off, cutting people off that didn't believe in me. It's the biggest one. It hurts, man. But it's like I can't grow if they don't want to grow. You know what I mean? I live a private life. Like recently, I just pretty much got a girlfriend again. You know, so people could be out there and say about it, but I don't say who it is. If she watches, she knows. You know what I mean? But like it's probably been 2 weeks or something like that. It's not. It's start out fresh, right? You know what I mean?
Hell yeah.
And I don't really want to go there to be like that to let people know my business, but you know, shit happens for a reason sometimes. When you're growing with a lot of shit, you don't know who you're gonna find, you don't know who's gonna be with you. But I always say, just keep going. As one of my boys from Atlanta, I'll shout out. His name is One Time. He actually produced for Little Easy E. He just did that. The biggest track. It was dope. I figured someone else on it. But he always had this one every time, and I didn't listen. He always said, man, keep going. He would keep it real with me. No matter, I'd hate to hear some of the shit, because some of the beats I sent on me, like, nah.
That's the best friends, though. That's the best friends you have.
Right. And I never had nobody in my corner like that, but I never met these people once in my life. But the people in my life that I actually know, they won't be real with me and tell me shit.
Bro.
But the strangers will tell you shit.
Absolutely. The people I've met online, on Instagram, in a music hustle, in this interview hustle, have become the best friends I've ever had in my whole life. And I've never seen them in person. Some in Australia, some in Serbia, some are in Colorado. Some, you know, they're all over the damn place, bro. Idaho, Arizona. But it's just if you expand your horizons and you keep yourself open to these experiences, you'll develop relationships that make you grow more than any one person that you knew locally.
Right.
I have a whole song about how I had to cut everybody I ever knew off, and that's how I became who I am, because they were focused on one type of life, and it was not a life I wanted to live.
Well, see, what is the best one? Another one, very inspirational. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry used to live homeless.
Tyler Perry, bro, yep.
He says this one. Some people, you gotta understand, are only in that life for the season. Like, season, that's it. They only there. And some people don't understand this one. I say this. Some people are here to help you. Some people are here to teach you. Some people are here to guide you. And some people are actually just here to just be with you. And some people are just gonna support you. Every people. So some people don't understand this. You hear me? Sometimes people in your life, everybody doesn't have a purpose. And I learned that it's like I'm not afraid to let someone go. I let so many girls that I wish I could have brought them, but they just didn't see my dream.
Right, but also, you know, some people have a purpose, but then they serve their purpose, and then you need to move on.
Yeah, because that's another thing. They only serve the purpose for that big time, like that one I told you about, and I said, he served his purpose. He taught me shit. No longer need to be with him.
Exactly, like no hate, no, you know, it's all love. I don't wish any bad harm to those people, but we're done. Our walk in life together has gone on different paths. That's the end of the story.
It takes me a lot of energy to hate someone. Like that's like bug me up.
That's a waste of energy. Hating is a waste of energy. I just grow past them. I grow. Right. I just grow.
Another thing I took Kevin Hart said this one. Like I be listening to him with certain shit. Like you have to take a lot of energy. Just make a face and get mad. Like that takes too much time. You know how much time it takes to hate someone? Like, but it's crazy that people take that much time to hate someone. You took all that energy to make you a better you. Like, I just spit facts all day. That's why people love me, because I don't sugarcoat. I keep it real. I keep it blunt. I don't fabricate. I'll tell people, like, if you heard the rap Boosie. People, like, sometimes call me the Candle of Boosie. Because I'm very crazy like him. I never really lived a certain lifestyle like him. He was probably way crazy, you know what I mean?
Don't get me started. But, yeah.
But I've always been the one that, like, people say, oh, the chicken's green. No, it's not. I wouldn't believe it. Everybody would just go off and believe anything. But I'm like, I need to know the facts of this chicken that is actually green. That's just, I fabricated that. That's, you know what I mean? But it's basically explaining to you that you can't believe everybody just because they say this. Oh, the sky's green. Well, how's the sky green?
Make your own decision.
Right? Like, this is the biggest one. I still don't believe this, even though I smoke. Like, most people, the Jehovah's Witness, and I get it. I have respect for all of them because my family is, but I do not believe smoking is a sin.
Wait,
and
hold on. Did you say your whole family is Jehovah's Witnesses?
Some of my family Jehovah's Witness, some are Baptists, right? So.
Whoa.
Yeah, I see. Now you get the energy. I come from a lot of different type of energies.
Damn. I would like to have a whole separate interview. If we got into that, I know we could talk about that for 2 hours. Growing up with Jehovah's Witnesses and Baptists.
Oh, for real, man. I probably say a lot of shit that they'd be like, oh, God is not going to like that.
All right, so I really do want to schedule an interview just about that, but we got to skip over that for tonight because I have one coming up after you. But
for sure.
Really, I do want to talk about that for real.
Yeah, man. I talk about the topics people are scared to talk about. Like,
because I have another guy that I've been interviewing that grew up in a. He wouldn't even say the name. He said a JW cult.
They call it a cult, but it's not really a cult. They're just.
It'd be super interesting to have you and him on a conversation. Him growing up here in America in a Jehovah's Witness environment, then you growing up there. Anyway, all right, we're gonna move on. Sorry, everybody. So tell me, what does success in life look like to you?
Success means you never give up. Never let nobody tell you you can't do nothing. Never let nobody that you can't say that you can't do this or you're running out of time. You can be 50 years old. You can be a music producer, music artist. You might not get the best platform or not get the stuff going on. So when people say your time is running out, that's because you're not even put enough time in.
Oh.
Because time is everything. You gotta put like Ice Cube. I watched so much shit. Like Ice Cube says, don't complain about the work that you didn't put in. That was the crazy thing I ever heard because it's true. People complain about, oh, I'm not there and that, but you have to put the work in.
Hell yeah, bro.
That's where it comes with the time to put the work in. There's always not enough time, but you had to take your time to say, oh, I don't want to smoke weed. I don't want to do drugs. Or I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm going to put the time to put this time in. Because when you put the time in, the time makes the effort. Because when you go look back at what you were before you started, some people don't look at that. I look at that every time like, fuck, I don't give a damn what anybody says. The damn friggin' grind is amazing, man. It's phenomenal. Because there's a lot of things that people be going through and they're like, oh, well, I'm mad at the world. It took me a lot to really get an experience to love myself. And I think it's truly, I say this a lot. People don't really love themselves. Oh. When someone offends them and says something to you, you don't love yourself. You truly will love yourself when you don't let others bug you about what they feel about what your music is or what you do.
That was so beautifully said. I can't tell you how beautifully said that was, man. On that note, I feel like you're on a roll. If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
Man, that younger self again, I would be like, I wish I could do it all over because I've been a lot farther than I used to be.
What would you tell it? What would you tell you?
Don't quit. Don't let others' opinions demolish what you built.
Okay. All right. So really you think that your biggest hurdle in life, the biggest thing that held you back was giving credit to haters.
Right.
And you wish you could do that over again because you would have gone full force into the things you believed in.
Well, if someone said they didn't like shit, I would have gone harder. I should have not got. I got emotionally affected. I felt like, man, I did this. Like, what the fuck? And you're saying it's trash? Like, people just will say anything. They'll go like, yeah, he's fucking trash. Like, on Boosie's to this day, I will see his Instagram, and it's like, man, you don't even rap like that. Why you still rap? Like, people will take their time of the day to say this much shit. And I gotta ask some of these people who do watch this, how do you feel when you say that shit to someone?
That's the problem, bro.
Because they don't have no feeling to feel. Like, it's like you really take this time to say all this energy about someone that you do not like and don't care about just to try to make them feel down.
Nah, bro, they do have a feeling to feel, and you know what it is? It's ignorant arrogance.
Yeah.
That's the problem with the internet. These people feel like, oh well, I made this funny joke that made me and my 3 friends in my mom's basement laugh. So now I got Boosie. I got this guy. Oh shit, I'm talking shit. You know, it's ignorant arrogance.
Right. And it's like people feel like just because freedom of speech was there, you can just say anything. Like my mama always taught me, if you don't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. But at the same time, if you do have something not nice to say, make it as a way, I would say, is to impact someone to make them better.
Exactly. It's constructive critique, constructive criticism.
Like, tell them how they do it. But some people, like, I had one guy, he come off very aggressive. Like, and it tore my whole world. And I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, well, sometimes you gotta hear that to make you go harder. But I don't think that you should do that into people you don't know, until you truly know. So I say, if you said that to, like, imagine me doing that to you, that's just, the context. But imagine I known you for 2 years and I'm like, okay, bro, like, I seen you do this. This is, like, what I'm gonna say. And if you got aggressive with, I got aggressive with you, wouldn't feel offended. Because you like, well, he knows me, so I know. The problem was people are just saying anything, anybody that they don't know. So, of course, they're going to think it's as you were being a hater, because it's like, who the fuck are you to tell me something? Where are you?
You know, I saw this one thing online the other day, and it really, like, first of all, if you want to talk shit in the comments. That's all I'll say. And then the other thing is, in that movie, Social Network, someone comes up to Zuckerberg, and they're like, oh, man, I heard this about, all this trash about you. I heard this trash about you. I heard this. And he looks at him and he says, you know what I heard about you? Nothing.
What? I like that one.
Let him talk shit.
Right.
If I'm talking shit, that means I am. If you're talking shit about me, that means I am 100 times more important in your life than you are to me.
Right. Yeah, no, that's what people don't understand. The biggest one I try to say, Moneybag Joe said this one in his song. Stop going off what they say. Like, you know what I mean? Just, people just, listen how COVID happened. And I'm gonna be real with anybody that says it. I never took a vaccine. Ever. They tried to get me everything, and my arm was like, oh my God, you really didn't take the vaccine. I stayed true to myself. Now, I'm not saying anybody wrong to taking the vaccine, but I am who I am, and just because another man says, oh, this and that, I believe in my God that I'm going to be okay. But if I die, it's not because of the vaccine. I die because of old age or not taking care of myself. Because that's the only time people, here, I'm going to get people to understand the vaccine. It's not dangerous. It's dangerous if you haven't took care of your body. You know how many unhealthy, overweight people in this world there is? How many people can you ask every day that you go to the gym? After this interview, I'll go right to the gym. That was my goal. I make it to the gym at least about 5 times a week to stay fit. So when I'm 50 and all them 50 people walking around with the back not working, going like that, I will be still the same person. You won't even know if I'm 50.
Hell yeah, bro.
People just don't understand. The mind is a temple, but the mind, also your body is the temple. Take care of your body. If you don't take care of yourself, that's how you die. Simple.
Facts, bro. Facts. And we could get into the COVID thing too, but that's another 2 hour discussion.
Oh man, I'm
That's
telling
another, and we might just add that on to the other discussion. We'll talk about that later, but because I
you.
have a whole thing about that.
You
But,
got the right guy, man, for real.
I got a whole thing, but yeah, like shit. I'll send you a song I have. I'll send you anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. So, is there anything about your background or your past or anything that I didn't know to ask you about that you feel like you should talk about?
Well, I don't want to say, but I see my phone ring a couple times, and that was the girl as well. But my brother,
Hey, do you, bro?
my brother calls me still like he's been incarcerated. I don't like using the J word for 6 years consecutively. For people say he did it, but we all know, and I don't like to go into that because everybody starts, right. So he calls me every day, he used to, but he got transferred a couple times, and it's like he doesn't see about the stuff that how far have I come, because I don't like to say this, but I'm gonna say this in a good theory. He was an example, like, not what to do.
Yeah.
Like, I keep it real, but it's like I don't like saying like, okay, my brother was a
He'd probably be proud to hear you say that.
right. You know what I mean? But he knows now that he made the wrong decisions, and we both live the same type of situations. Just I wish him a couple days like certain shit I learned, but I didn't know what he was doing. I knew someone, and he's basically my cousin, but he's like a brother because my dad are brothers. I take his brother, born in the same crib. We used to play Halo together. That's how close we were. So I take it as a theory. I wish that sometimes it was me in prison. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it was my fault for not telling his dad about what he was doing when I knew.
It's not your responsibility.
Right, I know it's not, but it's like when you love someone and you care for someone. I love her. Like I'm truly a good-hearted person, but I only get evil to the ones that try to take advantage of me, and that's how it happens, right?
But you love hard and you hate hard.
Right. Well, I'm not
responsible for the ones you love. You feel
right.
There's something you could intervene and help with. You want.
Like, cause it's like at the end of the day, it's like I don't feel like he deserves that. He was really on the same path as me. I was talking to him yesterday. He's like, man, I got so many ideas. Business is like, man, I pray to God one day, man, and I feel like there is God that is gonna happen, and he might get out, and he can get into all the theories. Cause like when I look at Boosie shit, how many times he's been out of prison? He's
back in it now.
He said what?
He's back in it now.
I thought he got out.
He may have. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, he's on host arrest. He got like I might be falling. He's on host arrest, but he people destroy people that are very good, and I just think people that are like that, they're misunderstood because they're so crazy. That's just their environment that they came from. That's just their energy. But as I see, as he grows, Boosie became a lot more aware of what not to do. Everybody makes mistakes. I'll be watching some of his interviews. Man, I'm a man. I'm just gonna fuck up. And I'm gonna keep fucking up. And I'm gonna keep fucking up. Because that's what men do. We not perfect, but we own up to our mistakes. So just because I fuck up, I should spend the rest of my life. Like, I feel like the system should be more likely if someone actually kills someone. Like, it's brought up to bring blacks down as well, but it's not for nobody. Honestly, if you ask me, don't matter what color you are.
Absolutely, bro. Nah, don't, bro. I just interviewed a guy who's in prison right now. Like, I interviewed him from his prison cell. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I won't say how it was able to happen, but yeah. Like,
you seen them do that,
we'll talk about that later. But do you have anything coming up that you want to talk about?
I'm thinking about dropping a beat mixtape. I've been working real hard on it. I think I might drop an album. I was thinking about a comedy album, but people hear me do Dirty Self so much, they never heard me when I used to rap, like hip hop. and I don't think that's around no more. Like Nas just dropped one with a little bit 50 and something, but it's like, where's everybody else at? Pusha T came out, but where's like ain't coming back? Do you see Redman?
Bro, they living their life, man. I'm happy for them. What you talk about? Like
Right.
that day is over. Trust me. I'm 35. I came from the same world you did. You know what I mean? I miss rap. I miss hip hop. I miss lyricism, bro.
And what I'm trying to say is there is hip hop like that, but there's so much dumbed down music. It just it's the more that it's destroying the culture. But when that hip hop music came out, I feel like a lot of rappers let you down because they were like, I'm going to, be this biggest rapper and make $1 million, and then I'm not gonna rap no more. J-Quan was one of them. Made it one hit, Tipsy. Don't rap no more, ever.
Damn, bro, he did do that one song though. Oh my god,
and
bro.
still into this day in the
club.
Yeah,
Man.
it's still a hit. So I mean, I can't speak for all of them, but I feel like if you're in this, it should be your passion for life. You should be making music. 50 Cent is like, it's like you just turned 50.
Yeah, bro. I mean that whole everybody, yeah. They real ones. Everybody 50 and everybody's attached to. They're real ones, bro.
Right. I just think like that dumbed down music should not be hip hop. It's rap. Or trap.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. Yeah, it's trap. It's not even rap because rap was something else. Was not hip hop. Rap was something. But this is trap. This is a whole new genre. This is not what happened in the 90s and 2000s. No.
Right. It's like I remember I grew up on people like Big Pun, Big L, AZ,
Talib,
Voice the 5'9". The list.
Respect the Deck, all the motherfuckers from Wu-Tang, like
right. You know what I mean? Like the big one, he's very. Nobody ever talks about him. Honest or Dragon. Dragon's.
I don't know Dragon.
Dragon was in Rough Riders. But
Okay, shit. Okay.
Like, I do my research.
Probably one of those dudes I've heard a million times. I just didn't know his name.
I always try to give people advice. If you're an artist, research every single artist, so that's how you can be up on top of them. So like one of my boys from Louisiana told me this. He says, I don't dislike them, man. He's like, I research these artists to know that I'm better than them, but I cannot rap them because he says like I put the work in. He told me today, he's like, I'm putting a song on every week. Where is these people? They don't even put a song on every week.
Yep.
That's how gifted and passion he's in. Like people don't understand that.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's facts, man. This game is commonly misunderstood for real.
Right.
Yo, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate everything. I do want to do another interview with you with other subjects, other subjects. But we'll,
for sure.
Yeah, let's keep in touch, and I can't wait to see what you do with this comedy and the music and this and that. Yeah, man, it's been a great episode of Karikter. I stay with C Real. Appreciate your time. I'll see y'all next time. Peace up.
KD already.